Thousands flocked to London for student demonstration against tuition fees. Senior Labour politician slams coalition's stance on student finance. And new welfare cuts could mean poorer families are forced out of the south. Good afternoon, welcome to Winchester News Online. I'm Gable. There's no doubt about our top story today. More than 40,000 students, including hundreds from Winchester, converged on central London to protest fee rises amid scenes of violence. Earlier today, student leaders accused the government of stinking hypocrisy over the fees issue and called for renewed protests.
I think today promises to be a real landmark in what is a much bigger campaign on the issue of cuts to education. And what that means for students is that they are going to be asked to pay 3 times as much for the same quality, or perhaps something that's even worse. And I don't know how the government can justifiably say we're all in this together when they say that it's dangerous to build a nation on debt. What they are doing is passing debt onto young people starting their adult life. And that stinks of hypocrisy.
There's a lot we need to be angry about, and there's a lot we need to fight against.
Labour's most senior politician in the south has warned that the government's new policy on tuition fees could lead to the University of Winchester being financially crippled. Stuart Appleby has more.
Shadow Business Secretary John Denham believes the University of Winchester could be devastated by the coalition government's increased higher education fee plans. The one-time Secretary of State for Universities, who only narrowly held on to his Southampton Itchen seat in the May general election, made the hard-hitting claim in an exclusive interview with WINOL.
Universities like Winchester will lose nearly all of their income, so they'll have no money coming in at all unless they can attract the students prepared to pay these new higher fees. My other worry is that people will say, I could go to that university, but it's got the most expensive fees, so I'll go to this university. It's not as good for me, it's not really what I want to do, but I've got to shop around for the cheapest course.
The university's Deputy Vice-Chancellor responded to the local Member of Parliament's claims.
Mr Denham may be right that students will take the level of fee charged into account when deciding where and what to study. Indeed, that was the intention of the last Labour government when they first introduced variable fees, a government of which Mr Denham was a member. It did not happen when the fees were capped at £3,000 because just about every university charged the full fee for all courses.
The university is currently considering its position on tuition fees, but they will not have to decide what to charge until the summer of 2011. Stuart Appleby, Winchester News Online.
Universities say they need tuition fees to rise in order to bring in much-needed revenue, but these rises are not enough. University spending needs to be dramatically reduced as well. Millions of pounds will need to be saved. Our finance correspondent, Julie Cordier, outlines what this means for Winchester University.
As of 2012, Winchester University will be able to charge up to £9,000 in tuition fees. This income will help balance the budget cut that the university will have to suffer.
The cuts have been larger than we anticipated and are more far-reaching. For this university in particular, it risks losing a large proportion of its government funding.
Despite having £30 million in reserve, the university will have to tighten its financial belt. From 2012, it will have to lose 7% of its budget. It sounds like a moderate cut, but for this university, the figure equals £3 million.
But what does £3 million mean to this university? It could mean the brand new sports complex. Or it could mean a third of the Student Union building. It also represents around 100 lecturers' annual wages. But fortunately, the university has got strong cash reserves, which put it in a really good position to face the budget cut in 2012. Julie Cordier for Winchester News Online.
Staff at the Southern Daily Echo have begun a 48-hour strike over pay and pensions. National Union of Journalists members picketed ahead of a Press Complaints Commission open day, led by PCC chairwoman Baroness Buscombe and Daily Echo editor Ian Murray. The pay disagreement, which has lasted over 2 years between workers and management, is at deadlock according to NUJ representatives. Further strikes will take place next week. Elsewhere, government welfare cuts in the south have forced poorer members of society to move out of the region. Our political correspondent Joey Lipscombe reports.
The Archbishop of Canterbury's idea that cuts and caps to housing benefit will lead to social zoning, with people being driven out of expensive areas like Winchester, I think there's some truth in that. I think there is something in that.
The coalition has come under heavy fire from Labour this week. It comes following the warning of social zoning by the Archbishop of Canterbury, who claimed that the housing benefit gap could force poorer families in the south to relocate in the north, where the cost of living is more affordable.
What's the Labour response in general since the spending review was announced?
Well, one of outrage. What you've got is an attack on the poorest in the country, being made by a government representing a social elite, the wealthiest. Yeah, lots of leafy suburbs in Winchester, but there are a lot of people living below the poverty line in Winchester as well. They will be silently just forgotten about.
So the rally on Thursday.
Rallies are a bit old-fashioned, but they're one of the many ways in which people can join in the debate about public sector spending cuts.
Following the statement, the government and local council failed to comment. The Labour Representation Committee will hold their rally in the East Winchester Social Club this Thursday, but after losing the election in May, is it too little, too late? Joey Lipscomb, Winchester News Online.
And here's Amy Pickering with all of your sports.
Thanks, Jake. Make sure you tune into our brand new show Sports Week after the Bulletin, where Grant Payne will be presenting highlights from all of this week's football action, as well as WINOL Goal of the Month. There have been some real crackers over the last few weeks, with Danny King of Winchester City and Richard Gillespie of Eastleigh Town, both in contention for the honour after their stunning goals for their respective clubs during October. There will also be rugby highlights on the show, with David Champion reporting on Winchester's latest match. Sports Week is the #1 show for highlights and coverage of all of the region's non-league football, and comes off the back of WINOL securing rights to all Blue Square South games. Alresford Town were beaten comprehensively by Blackfield and Langley last night. Mark Hartman was the hero, bagging a hat-trick in Langley's 4-2 victory. Stephen Smith was again the star of the show for Paul Town last night, scoring his 16th goal in just 15 league games, as Town beat Totterton Ealing 4-1 on the road. And Winchester had 2 games in 2 days in both League and Cup. It was a victorious 48 hours for the Capitals, defeating Brockenhurst 4-1 in the League and Southampton QK 3-2 in the Russell Coates Cup. And now back to Jake.
Poppy sellers in Winchester have been told to be extra vigilant this year after more than £800 was stolen from collection tins in the city last year. Michael Connolly investigates.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. I've got a pin here for you.
Bolt cutters, scissors and even cigarettes were used last year to steal money from poppy tins across Winchester. This week, the organiser of the Winchester Poppy Appeal has warned sellers and shop owners to take extra care. Poppy seller and ex-soldier Terry Young was sickened by the crime and the man who stole the money.
It was very upsetting, and you have concern for this young man who's hit the skids, that he has to pinch money from a poppy tin. Once he's done his prison term, if he comes to see me, I will try and sort out his problems for him, because he looks like he needs some help.
So this year, when you give your money to the Poppy Appeal, you can be a little bit more certain that the money isn't going to be stolen. Michael Connolly, Winchester News Online.
For more award-winning news and sport, don't forget to visit www.winol.co.uk. But now stay tuned. After the break, Kaylee James with her pick of what's on in Winchester and a chance to see Winchester's spectacular fireworks event. That's all from me. Bye-bye.
These are orangutans. Orangutan means man of the forest. So what happens when their forest is destroyed, as 80% of it has been? This, or worse. The forest is disappearing fast, and when the forest goes, so does the orangutan. We're not going to let that happen, but we need your help. You can adopt an orangutan with WWF. Call 0800 369 8408 or go to adoptanorang.com. Adopt an orangutan for £3 a month with WWF and we'll send you a special adoption pack. You'll be restoring the forest and replanting it. You'll help make sure the orangutan survives. Please call now on 0800 369 8408 or go to adoptanorang.com right now. Adopt an orangutan and give the man of the forest back his forest.
Hello, I'm Kaylee James and here's what's on in Winchester. Thursday night is Socialite. Start the evening with cocktails at Mikiki and grab a chance to win £100 with their weekly draw. Then later, move on to Bar 31 for a mix of urban, hip-hop and R&B. This Friday is Harry Potter Flirt. Dress as your favourite character and get yourself down to the vaults. Tickets are selling fast though, so get yours now. British hip-hop rapper Akala will be playing at the Railway Inn this Saturday. Akala has been compared to Jay-Z in the past and also bagged a MOBO award in 2006. Not to be missed. And finally, last week I told you about the Winchester Roundtable bonfire and firework display. WINOL was there to watch the events unfold.
Winchester Roundtable put on the biggest fireworks display the city has ever seen on Saturday night.
It's a unique occasion in Great Britain, and it's a fabulous night in Winchester. The fact that we do the torchlit procession beforehand just creates a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere.
Thousands of people joined the torchlit procession, which was led by the brass band along the High Street, through the city centre and onto River Park. The display is an important annual event for Winchester.
Very good thing for Winchester, and I think it, as I read in the papers, we had a lot more people than Southampton did, which, and we're obviously population-wise not as big as Southampton, so it just shows you how popular it is.
The night proved to be a massive success for local charities, raising £57,000 in total.
It's always local charities, which is the main thing. And if they have raised that amount of money, because all of what they raise goes to the charities, which is another thing.
The 2010 bonfire fireworks evening has been the best we've ever run.
Amy Pickering, Winchester News Online.
Thank you for watching What's On in Winchester. That's all for today. For more entertainment news, log on to www.winol.co.uk. Goodbye.